Okay, okay. One time for the Auburn. Said one time for the Auburn. Yes, listen, you know in the fall we gon' switch it up. It is what we do. Hello, my loves. Tony here from TL Yarn Crafts and welcome back. So it is confession time. I officially have way more yarn than any one human could ever use. We are talking over 200 skeins of perfectly good yarn that is sitting in the guest room right on the other side of this wall. And 200 skeins is a rough estimate. It might even be way more than that. But no more ignoring all of this gorgeous yarn. It is finally time for a destash. And this is gonna be a destash like none other. More on that later. Now, if you're down to hang with me while I prepare all of this gorgeous yarn for its new homes, make sure you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel. I am still chasing down 1 million subs and I am so close, I can taste it. But I am going to need your help. So if you are part of the 56% of viewers who are not already subscribed to my channel, how about we make this official, bestie? I think it's time. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It doesn't hurt you at all, but it helps me so very much. Today's video is brought to you by Skillshare. You've heard me say it a million times and I'll say it a million times more. I am obsessed with Skillshare. It's a platform for the curious and the creative with thousands of classes on everything from hobbies to life skills. They cover all of the basics there from photography to art and design, but there are also lots of unexpected classes like bullet journaling for photography and interior design for smart people. Yes, that's the title of it. And yes, I do highly recommend that class. Now, not only have I learned from Skillshare, but I am also a teacher, little feather in my cap right there. Recently, I took a look back at one of my most popular classes, which is Essentials for Getting Started, a beginner's guide to crochet. That class covers everything that you need to learn how to crochet, from choosing yarn to matching colors, making a slip knot, and eventually finishing a set of coasters. I decided to be a student this time and went through the full class, and wouldn't you know it, your girls still got it. There is a treasure trove of creative inspiration waiting for you on Skillshare, and now is the perfect time to get in on the action. Skillshare pulled out all of the stops for this month's promotion, and right now you can get a 30-day free trial to their platform plus 20% off your first year of membership. All you have to do is be one of the first 500 people to click the link down in my description or scan the QR code that's on your screen right now. But you gotta be quick. This deal ends at the end of the month. 'Tis the season to realize your crafty potential, friends, and Skillshare is here to help. I want to give a big thank you to Skillshare for always being such a wonderful partner, and thank you so much for watching. And before we tackle the mountain of yarn in the other room, we have to give some love to our Cup of Caffeine sponsor. Yesterday's brewed coffee has become today's iced coffee, and it is so delicious. And today's Cup of Caffeine sponsor is named Trish, and when donating, Trish said, "I just watched your Tunisian crochet smock stitch tutorial, and you did a fantastic job showing your technique and describing each step. You also helped me to understand how to properly utilize the back loop of the starting chain. Enjoy your coffee." Well, thank you so much, Trish. I know that smock stitch trips up a whole lot of people, so I'm glad I could clear it up for you. Now, if you like my videos and want to support my channel, buy me a coffee. Who knows? I might shout you out in the next one. Now, let's destash some yarn. Welcome to my shame. Oh my gosh, there's so much. We're gonna be in here all flippin' day. Now, this might not look like very much right now, but this is over a year's worth of accumulation, not only of yarn, but all the little notions and bags and kits and samples and everything else that I've been working on. I've been putting this off for so long because I knew how much of an undertaking this was going to be. There's a lot of yarn in here, and all of it will need to be cataloged and photographed and uploaded and eventually shipped off. It really took me getting into the holiday season to even have enough space and air around me to give this yarn its due. But now that we have that time, we have that energy, and we've got a really banging playlist, it's time to crank this out. So the very first step is to completely clear out this room, vacuum this floor, and start organizing this yarn. So while I'm getting all of my yarn together, I've been watching YouTube video reviews of the Game of Wool show. Now, I personally have not seen one episode in its entirety, and I will save my judgment until the full season is out. But the tea is hot and the juice is loose, honey. There is so much drama going on with this show already. Team challenges, knitting with super chunky wool, calling techniques the wrong name. The takeaway I've gotten from a lot of these videos is that it doesn't seem like there's somebody who knits on the production team or the editing team. Not enough attention is being paid to the actual stitchers and their true skills. I do think there is a possibility to make a really good competition show around knitting and crochet, but it sounds like they missed the mark with this one. But let's not get off topic here. We need to focus on the next step of this destash. So I've organized what turned out to be about 190 skeins so far, and I am still not done, but the floor is completely filled, so I need to get to organizing and photographing all of this yarn. Now, if you were with me for the last destash, you know I can't do anything without my spreadsheets, so I set up a fresh one. Now, the process here is to have different columns to highlight the different attributes of these yarns to make sure buyers know as much as possible about the yarn that they're getting so they can make an educated choice on whether or not to buy it. So on this spreadsheet, I have the lot number, I have the name of the lot, then I have the overall weight of the lot and whether that varies. I have the total number of skeins, the general fiber content, yardage per skein, the physical weight of the entire lot so I know what to put in when it's time to ship it. Then I have the approximate retail price. When I price out this yarn, I'll take anywhere from 20 to up to 50% off of the original retail price. And I do that to make sure, one, people get a good deal, and two, I can get this yarn out of my stash. Then there's the final price, and the very last column on my spreadsheet says includes partial skeins, just to make sure people know exactly what they're getting in their lot. Okay, so I took a little break. I'm about halfway through all the yarn that's going to be destashed, and I'll tell you what, you might not have considered this, but it is very sweaty work. Twisting from the photography station to the weighing station to the categorization station. There's kind of a lot going on, and that has earned me a coffee break. Oh my gosh. Oh, iced coffee in the middle of winter. You can't beat it. Destashing is going swimmingly, but you might remember from the top of this video, I mentioned that this one is a destash like none other. The reason being is that every single dollar earned from this destash is going to charity, specifically to Forgotten Harvest. Forgotten Harvest is a charity here in Metro Detroit that ensures everyone in this community can eat. Through their system of farms, supermarkets, and volunteers, they're able to turn one donated dollar into 3 whole meals. And since so much of the yarn has been gifted to me, it feels like a no-brainer to turn that money around and pour it into my community to make sure that everybody has meals on their table this holiday season. Now, as I'm organizing all of this yarn, I'm getting really excited to tally up all the money that we could be donating to Forgotten Harvest at the end of this. I am very curious how much you think we might earn. As you continue watching the video, look at all of the yarn that's out there and drop your guesses down in the comments. I'll be sure to share with you exactly how much we'll earn if we sell all of this yarn at the end of the video. One more sip of coffee and then we're back on the clock. You think I can make this sip last like another 3 months? No? Yes? No? No. Okay, no more. Okay, back to work. Here we go. So that is one box down, and I just counted, and there are 121 skeins in just that first box, and we have a long way to go. So 200 skeins was definitely a conservative estimate. I'm now starting to think we might hit even closer to 400 skeins. And we are back for day 2. It looks like we've got a pretty gloomy day on our hands. It makes me think of that reel that I saw when you're like vegging out in bed and then it starts to rain and you're like, now that's what I'm talking about. I just love that collectively we can appreciate a rainy day because it's kind of the perfect time to be doing some crafting. Unfortunately, there is no crafting in my future, but since it's not a great day to take a ton of pictures, I figured it's a good time to move into another part of the destash process that I've got on the list. So I had what I thought was a very genius idea to clear out my mini skeins. I found all of these little envelopes in my stash and I was like, oh, what if I make my own little like holiday countdown box for somebody to experience in case they didn't get an advent or just need another one. So I'm gonna pull out my minis and I'm gonna do little 10 skein countdowns. And I'm thinking inside the package, I'm gonna put a download link for my juniper cowl. It's one of my favorite lightweight crochet patterns. It is the perfect use for mini skeins. That's what it was created for. And every single juniper cowl I've ever seen always looks fantastic. So I think this is a great opportunity for me to clear some minis out of my stash, but also gift them to somebody who can turn them into a really gorgeous project. So let's get into that minis drawer. I've got a pretty intense stack of minis here, and while I won't be able to get rid of all of them, I was able to make 6 stacks of 10 of these little baggies. So that means 60 minis are gonna go to new homes. And I don't know about you, but that ain't nothing to sneeze at. You really gotta love how dark it gets at like 4 o'clock in the evening this time of year. It's like all I wanna do is put on even softer pants and get into bed. But there is no rest for the weary friends. We've got the minis done, we've got most of the yarn done, and now it is time for the samples. When you tinker around with yarn as much as I do and you're constantly designing and thinking up new ideas, you're gonna end up with a bunch of stuff that you can't use yourself. And as much as it pains me to see my hard work leave my home, it does make me really happy and kind of warms my heart that somebody will actually be able to use this stuff. So far it's been chilling in some airtight bins in my guest room, and sometimes I'll go through those bins, pull something out, wear it for the nostalgia. But then I remember that next year is a new year and I'm gonna make a bunch more designs. So we have to clear some of this stuff out and, just like the yarn, make sure it goes to good homes. Here are just a few of the pieces that you're gonna see in this year's D-Stash. First, we have a few shawls and scarves. This is the Wild Bird shawl, and this has lived in my stash for a while. I remember designing this. It was my first foray into mohair, and this is the project that made me fall in love with fuzzy yarns. It is so elegant and flowy, and it's really perfect for brightening up a gloomy day like this. Here is the Odyssey wrap. I made this as part of Make It Cal, and I really fell in love with these colors. It was giving collegiate realness with the bold, high contrast color blocking, and I'm sure you can guess my favorite part of this scarf, the tassel. This one is extra long and cozy, made with merino wool to keep you warm all winter long. Whoever snags this is in for a very squishy treat. If you were part of Crochet Academy last year, I'm sure you recognize this one. It is the Kelly Bias scarf. I remember being blown away by this 100% acrylic yarn from Lion Brand because it felt just like mercerized cotton. And these colors, come on, it looks like a whole landscape. It's lightweight and great for the besties who are allergic to everything. Now onto some blankets, starting with this stunner. This is the XO blanket. I dug deep into my original Happy Place stash and pulled out some of the melange colors. I just love how playful this blanket is, especially with that scallop border. Also made with Happy Place, this is the checked out blanket. This one came from the original Happy Place design collection, and I'm kind of sad to part with it. Blankets are my comfort project, and I simply cannot keep all of them. But if you need a snuggle blanket to get you through those last few chapters or episodes, then this is the one for you. Now, this one might have flown under your radar, but I was really proud to make and release the Rustic Rainbow Throw Blanket. It uses a wool alpaca blend yarn that is to die for, and those colors makes me want to pack up this blanket and head to a cozy cabin right now. I did go a little bit nuts with the fringe on this one, but waste not, want not, am I right? There are also a few garments in the D-Stash, including the original French press cardie. Now this one holds a lot of happy memories for me. It was one of my first garment designs, and it was a collab with Ashley of Montana Crochet. There's some major TLYC history here, and I'm excited for whoever gets this one. Also a previous Crochet Academy design. This one is the Aruba tunic. This one is made with kobu, which is a cotton and bamboo blend. Just get a load of that drape. I love the subtle color combo too, so summer chic. This one is perfect as a beach cover-up, or layer it over linen pants for a cute cruise ship vibe. I did find a few accessories like these cute hats, and you'll also find the original Tobago bag and the Carter granny bag in the D-Stash. Clearly, I had way too much fun trying on all those samples because we are about to lose the light for real. So let me go ahead and wrap this up. So I do these D-Stashes just about every year, and it really doesn't get any easier. I've spent so much time working on these projects, curating this stash. So to see these things leave my home definitely has a bittersweet feeling. I'm sure a lot of us can agree that our stash is more than just a stash. It holds our souvenirs, it holds our memories, and it holds a lot of inspiration for us. But at some point, that carefully curated collection can start to feel kind of pre-hoardery, and when we get there, it is safe to say it is time to let a few things go. So yeah, at the end of the day, it feels great getting rid of the things that I know I'm not going to use, knowing that they are going to go to makers who will cherish them. And a D-Stash isn't just about making room for the next thing that I'm planning to add. It really is a chance for me to reunite with some of the beautiful yarns that I have added to my stash over the years. I've gone to some amazing local yarn shops and some festivals, and don't you worry, there is plenty of yarn still behind this curtain. Going through my stash skein by skein, even after taking hundreds of skeins out of my stash, just reminds me that we got good yarn at home, and that feels really good. I hope this video encourages you to shop your stash first before going gaga over that next big launch or getting sucked into a coupon code that landed in your inbox. And if you've got yarn that you're ready to part with, I'm sure there are folks in your community who would love to take it off of your hands. So look for senior centers, after school programs, and community art spaces to donate those those amazing supplies too. They're usually thrilled to take your surplus, but make sure you call them first to ensure they take what you have. If I'm gonna turn my yarn mountain into meals for families in need, I'm going to need your help. So mark your calendars for the Great D-Stash of 2025. The D-Stash is going down Thursday, December 11th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and everything will be listed on tlyarncrafts.com. Find all the items shown today, plus more yarn, hooks, notions, samples, and project bags. And if you're on my email list, you're gonna get a link to a preview so you can scope out everything before the sale goes live. And now the moment we've all been waiting for, how much are we going to raise for Forgotten Harvest with the D-Stash? Now, I'll be completely honest, I'm usually able to get through all of my D-Stash items in about 2 to 3 days, but I have been working on this nearly a week and I'm still not done. So I added up everything that I have thus far and we're already at $1,338, assuming that we sell out. And that equates to over 4,000 meals that we can provide just through yarn. And that doesn't even include all of the samples, all of the bags, all of the extra yarn that I still had in the room. That's just from what you saw so far. So my rough estimate is that we might even be able to double that number if everything sells out in the D-Stash. Even if we just work with the number that we have, $1,338 equating to over 4,000 meals really hits hard, especially now that we're in the holiday season. Every purchase from this D-Stash, every skein, every sample, every bag means that Forgotten Harvest can rescue even more food and put it on the tables of people who are in need. Now, if you're not planning to shop the D-Stash or you're watching this in the future, you can donate directly to Forgotten Harvest, and I'll have that link down below. I've still got a little ways to go, but I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me as I start preparing for the D-Stash. I can't wait to see what skeins arrive at your home, so make sure you tag at TLYarncrafts on Instagram when your package arrives. Until then, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye. Bye.